Twins at Law, welcome back. I'm Michael Fletcher.
I'm Matthew Fletcher.
What happened to your eye, man?
Man, I was coughing like a dog on a piece of corned beef and cabbage. Told you I was on the floor.
Grown man dies based on corned beef and cabbage.
I was literally in the bathroom. And I was sitting there and I said, you know the bitch about this? I'm not hungover, not dry heave. I was completely, totally sober, eating some corned beef and cabbage on a Saturday afternoon.
Killed by corned beef and cabbage.
Killed by corned
That's
beef
a
and
motherfucker.
cabbage.
That'd be a hell of a way to go, though.
Well, you know, it should have been just cabbage.
No, it could not have been.
No, it would have
that
never
would be
been.
impossible.
And what the impossible thing is making yourself put that cabbage in the pot. You know, why am I going to do this? Why don't I just put it where
See,
it's going to blow?
I could get down on some cabbage, man.
Well, you are single, living in Long Beach.
True.
What we're going to talk about today, Michael? It's been a while.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Should we talk about Alex Jones and Donald Trump?
Let's talk about Donald Trump, Alex Jones, and Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner.
Let's put them all together.
All right. Well,
let me tell you why I think that matters.
Well, let's give a lead in. Alex Jones was a kind of a right wing.
He is
a right wing conservative crazy guy who a lot of people like. Podcast host, radio host, TV.
Lots of nutrients.
Yeah.
Makes between $200,000 and $800,000 a day selling nutrients.
In a good day, but he makes a bunch of money.
$200,000 a bad day?
No, it's not. It's never a bad day. Did I ever tell you the $200,000 pizza store?
No, it's the Hugh Hefner thing. You walk downstairs and go like, still a pretty damn good day.
Yeah, still a good day. Alex Jones was just had a civil verdict entered against him, $45 million on the punitives and $4.1 million on the compensatory damages. He was the person who had said the Sandy Hook killings didn't occur, got crushed. The reason I wanted to talk about Alex Jones is it proved to me exactly what we've been saying. The likelihood of you getting a competent lawyer is almost zero. The reason Alex Jones got screwed was because his lawyer sent over to the opposing side every text and email he had sent in the last 2 years, which was a problem, particularly since Alex Jones had answered discovery that said, we don't have any text or any email.
Yeah, let me put it in non-legalese bullshit. So Alex Jones literally ran these parents whose children were machine gunned to death in their kindergarten class. He ran those people through just hell.
Doesn't he have a constitutional right, though?
He has a constitutional right to do it, but they have a constitutional right to sue them for what's called intentional infliction of extreme emotional distress. Is what they
defamation.
did.
Defamation.
Well, it's two causes of action, so we're not going to argue about it because I think it's extreme emotional distress damages. But the crazy thing about it is he may have released the autopsy reports on these people's children, which for those of you who don't know, I've did murder cases for 25 years. Nobody in California has done more murder cases than me. Nobody has won more murder cases than me. And I can tell you, reading an autopsy report shocks your soul. They give the descriptions, they give little drawings, and then they give wonderful pictures.
But what does that have to do with, even, let's say all that's true, and it is. It doesn't, the issue is this guy is worth $100 million, and his lawyer was so incompetent, he released impeachment material about his client and didn't go get it back.
And this goes exactly to my point that never is going to change. The fix is always in if you're a rich guy.
But
and
he
by
is
no
a rich
stretch,
guy.
by no stretch of the imagination, I don't care what you say or anyone else says, the plaintiffs asked for $150 million in compensatory damages for being humiliated and ridiculed and laughed at and told your child's not even dead, and they gave him $4 million.
And
that's a win.
Of course that's a win.
It's a phenomenal win for Alex Jones because $4 million, if you're worth $100 million or $150 million or whatever it may be, can we agree? What's that, $5 bill?
Yeah, but the issue really is let's say it is a win for the parents and it is a loss for Alex Jones. It would not have been a loss had Alex Jones had a competent lawyer, a lawyer who said, gee, I'm not going to send my clients texts and emails to the opposing side when my client is given a deposition in which he said, I have none. It was devastating.
And you see how clever my brother is. He's completely switched the positions here. I'm telling you, Alex Jones won and those parents lost. They lost because they asked for 150. They got 2% of what they asked for. And this lawyer, who essentially is a criminal offense lawyer, really handsome guy, he was the one who got caught flipping off the other side.
He also, when he was doing his opening,
in court, flipping him off.
when he was doing his opening, he was giving his sultry look. And I'm looking at him like, for real?
Good hair, though.
Great hair.
Good hair.
Great hair.
Good suit, great
hair. But he was doing the look. And I was like, this motherfucker's trying.
But the thing
it
is,
was stunning. He's a shitty lawyer.
He did
and
it
you can
exactly right. He literally played on the.
Alex Jones got hit for $45 million because
now,
this
Michael,
dude.
Now tell the truth. Tell him why the plaintiff's lawyer is such a shitty piece of shit lawyer. Where did they file at?
I
Texas.
I thought the plaintiff's lawyers did fine.
Okay,
I mean,
what's the limit on punitive damages in Texas?
I think you said it's $750.
$750,000 per plaintiff.
I
So
don't
out
know.
of that $42 million, they get 1.5.
Well, no, they'll get and then they get the $4 million in compensatory. But that's the first of many. With respect to Alex Jones, though, it's going to bleed him because there's more coming. And here's what I'm saying is I don't give a shit about Alex Jones' politics.
Neither do I.
What I'm saying is that the fact that this guy's worth $150 million, he leads certain segments of the community, and he had a shitty lawyer.
Yeah.
His lawyer was shitty. His lawyer was stunning. His lawyer's malpractice was jaw-dropping.
Yeah, maybe you should not send your client's emails and text message to the opposing counsel.
I'm positive you shouldn't.
I'm-
At least if your client is sworn under oath that he didn't do it.
Right. Well,
he
no,
just set his client up for perjury.
Yeah,
His client, they're going to charge his client with perjury because this dude, although he has great hair and looks great in a nice suit, is incompetent.
But Alex Jones, I gave it to my lawyer.
So
My lawyer sent it away.
I thought it was a great call.
I'm telling you, the
I
guy's
was proud of
brilliant.
the dude. I was
And
like,
then the guy leaked it out, and so it gets out there. People feel sorry for Alex Jones. There's some reason that whatever number of people went in the back and said, Alex Jones is really a good, honorable man. We should only $4 million
I don't
for
think
what
they
he
said
did.
that. I don't think they said that. I think what they said is, and it really doesn't matter because it's still $4 million. I think, but the issue is, it's not the number. It's the fact that his lawyer was so fucking incompetent. He gave the opposing counsel and the court, the judge fucking hated him. Right. And none of the commentators said, by the way, it's really weird how bad this judge is treating Alex Jones. Yeah. It's stunning.
Yeah, that's a completely different. That judge read that. She treated him as poorly as I've seen any, and I've been treated horrible in court.
Oh yeah,
I've seen, and she treated him, she demeaned him, she ran him down. You don't have to guess your politics.
When she says, this isn't your show, no lying, and his lawyer didn't move immediately for a mistrial, I move immediately for a mistrial. But again.
So you suggest if the judge is telling the jurors in front of the jurors that the defendant is a liar?
I don't think the jury was there. The jury wasn't there for that. But if the judge is saying that outside of the jury, if she's saying that on the record, you're saying I'm lying. You've made a factual determination that I'm lying.
Well, you don't think it carries over. It doesn't unring the bell. She doesn't like Alex Jones. She didn't like him.
It was obvious.
Clearly obvious. But here's the thing about it. This lawyer, Alex Jones' lawyer, knew enough to appeal to pull the right levers, say the right things, to come out of there with an award. If they would have asked for $5 million going into this, Alex Jones would have paid it in a heartbeat.
I don't think so.
It would have been close. But the interesting thing about that is going back to.
But let's finish this though. The truth of the matter is this: he's worth $100 million. He is a nationally prominent figure, and his lawyer is so shitty. He impeached his own client on national TV and gave the state the vehicle that they can use to send his client to prison. That is a shitty lawyer.
See, and I just think what he did was absolutely clearly planned out.
You think Alex Jones' lawyer?
Listen, the plaintiff's lawyer was required when they received, just like anyone who gets an email. This is for this purpose. If this is sent to you wrong, let us know. The plaintiff's lawyer called Alex Jones' lawyer and said, "Hey, you want this back?" And he said, "No." They literally complied. That's the way they complied with.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate.
Well,
I think he sent him an
why
email
wouldn't he have asked for it back?
because he's a shitty lawyer.
Really?
What the plaintiff's lawyer did, he sent an email and said, "You inadvertently sent us something. Do you want us to send it back?" Under the statute, they've got 10 days. That 10 days ran that day or the day
Right.
before, and because Alex Jones' lawyer, right here, is a shitty lawyer, that became their. It was
Okay.
not. It
Now
was. It was
explain to people-
wait, but it was non.
Now explain to everyone real quickly why this so much benefits Alex Jones.
Why does it benefit Alex Jones to have a shitty lawyer?
To have a malpractice, what do you think that malpractice case is going to be? You clearly hung your client.
Yeah, but he doesn't have. He probably has $10 million of insurance coverage.
Well, then that will cover every penny that Alex Jones is being forced to pay in this case.
Yeah, but what he won't cover him for is he's going to be charged with perjury.
I don't agree. I think Alex Jones is going to say, I turn it over to my lawyer. I considered that to be, I don't have them anymore. I didn't have them to email. I gave them to my lawyer. My lawyer sat here and allowed me to testify and never said, by the way, Judge, I have all of the emails and he gave them to me, or all of the text messages. You can't.
The fact that he has to have that conversation means your lawyer is incompetent.
Or it was planned.
If Alex Jones had a real lawyer, if they weren't able to bring out those email and those texts, the verdict would have been $1 million.
Wait, are you suggesting that it probably was patently absurd to think that Alex Jones, a person who has multiple media companies, multiple podcasts, that he didn't have a single text message to turn over?
Well, that's what he said. But the point is, I mean, it's funny, and his discovery response should have been, "I have A, B, and C."
Right.
But his response was, "I don't have any."
Right.
And the only way the plaintiffs had that response was Alex Jones' lawyer sent them a discovery response saying, "My client doesn't have any."
Right.
Alex Jones' lawyer then sent a email that had every text and email Alex Jones had made, not for 1 year, but for 2 years, directly impeaching his own client's sworn attestation that he did not have any text in email.
Well, so how does that not benefit Alex Jones?
Because it shows Alex Jones committed perjury.
You know, it shows that his lawyers.
No.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what I'd be saying. I gave it to my lawyers. My lawyers screwed me. They decided to do it and let me.
But he shouldn't have to say it, is the point. And let's put this, and give Alex Jones credit. That dude, he rolled into that perfectly. 98% of people aren't smart enough to go, wait a minute, let me answer this. That was on live TV. He was able to say, I turned it over. The point is shitty lawyers and how it impacts regular people. Alex Jones, at minimum, was entitled to a real lawyer.
Well, you know, the other funny thing
Although
about
he did have great hair.
the problem dealing with young lawyers is he wasn't old enough to understand Watergate, because it's much easier to explain something that's just gone. Why in the world, if you're going to, you literally know he has 2 years of text messages and emails that your clients just lied and said, I don't have any of them. You're holding them. You're the lawyer. You have duties to the court.
But that's the point.
You don't push delete.
But that's it, right? But that's the point. Is he knew all of that, and he was so unprofessional when he found out, when they sent him an email saying, "Oh, by the way, you gave us all this other shit."
Yeah.
He didn't say give it back. All he had to say, give it back.
Well, let me turn this into to Donald Trump yesterday.
Your other favorite candidate.
My other favorite candidate with these other fantastic lawyers. How in the fuck do you get a federal judge to issue a search warrant for the former president of the United States by claiming when he moved he took the wrong boxes?
This is one of this. By the way, this is one of these things where,
With a straight face, you walked into a judge who put his robe on and came walking out. Yes,
this is one of these things where, when I heard that and read it,
almost fell over, didn't you?
I was pretty fucking stunned. I said, if these documents aren't fucking pictures of Donald Trump fucking his dog in the ass with a nurse's hat on
In Russia, because we got to get some national.
If it doesn't involve that, you've got to be joking me. But it's back to this. It's back to the constitutional issue. The Constitution only applies when the Constitution applies.
Right. You don't think Merrick Garland gave him a fair hearing because Donald Trump wouldn't let him be?
Well,
a
but
Supreme
as they
Court
keep
justice?
saying, with that it was reviewed by a federal judge. Has to be fair, right?
Well, it has to be fair. But again, as we said over and over,
fucking
there is no
crazy,
such thing as a Constitution if no one's going to let the Constitution apply to you. And Donald Trump has always been, my position has always been clear. The fix is in. If you're not in the majority group or a very, very incredibly rich corporation, nothing was intended to apply to you. Donald Trump, he's an agitator. For whatever reason, like or dislike him, he went in and said, you can't trust the government. They're pieces of shit. They were lie, cheat, and steal. Enough people said, you're right. Let's vote for the guy.
And he gave good dating advice.
But what he questionable dating advice. But what he's finding out now is, all those people you were running down, what's the saying? I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
All the Republicans are turning on him. They're going to play little lip service.
Well, some will, but
Michael, they took goddamn armed guards into the motherfucker's house.
Oh no, I understand.
What you think? He was going to have a shootout with them?
But I think I'm not sure because I think politicians are basically spineless pieces of shit. But what to me, what was disturbing is the idea that you are going into the former president of the United States home to search for documents suggests to me that the government's just out of fucking control.
Right.
And that's one of the whole points of this whole Twinset law. I said the government is I am a conservative Democrat and I'm the biggest proponent of the Second Amendment because I don't want those motherfuckers to be the only ones who have guns.
Right.
The government is the problem. And when the government shows up to the former president's house and goes and says, we're looking for documents, that's the shit where you used to date a chick and you're like, oh, I need to come by because I left a T-shirt. No, you didn't leave a T-shirt.
It's probably a little worse than that one.
No, but it's the same premise. You weren't looking
you
for
stop
documents.
and you think about the coordination that went into, and not one Republican warned this cat. Nobody warned him. You can't get together. There were dozens of cops. They all went in here. All went in there with guns. To the literally because you say he took some boxes and had some shit in it.
Not shit.
That's my
some
toothbrush.
papers. Some papers. Yeah. That's my toothbrush. That's my T-shirt. It's one of these things where it's like you better and the other part that concerns me is, of course, this means the Democrats had something involved, so it almost has to be shitty. There's no possible way the Democrats have done something structural.
Did you see how expertly Nancy Pelosi walked down the stairs in the jet in Taiwan?
She used to be hot though, dude. Isn't she? I just look at Nancy. I look at Pelosi. I'm like, surely she was hot at some point in time, right?
I always tell a single guy.
Right?
I always tell a single guy.
She's
She's 80 years old, bro.
I said at some point in time. I didn't say.
Well, there's enough remnants of it.
How can I take her seriously as a politician if I don't assess how hot she used to be?
The odds of the Democrats and the Republicans, they're all the same. They go to the same restaurants.
The Democrats are more incompetent than the Republicans.
Oh, the Republicans are just willing to do whatever fuck they want to do. Democrats got to hem and haw about it.
Right.
We've got to get rid of that person. He squeezed a boobie one time.
I'm still back to, and since we're shitting on Democrats, which again, I'm a Democrat at some level, right? Is this Biden, the Inspector General for Homeland Security, who just overlooked the fact that all these email are gone? They said, are you going to get rid of text messages? Biden says, no, I'm not getting rid of them. What does a motherfucker have to do for you to take some action?
Apparently not destroying all the text messages from all the law enforcement who were on the nation's capital on the day an attempted coup was going on.
What do you think?
Something more than that.
What has to happen in Joe Biden's mind to say, you know what? I think I should take some action on this.
Well,
they destroyed text from the day that you claimed this horrible thing. They destroyed text and across the board. And the IG knew it a year ago. And he's like, I think we should keep him around a little while longer. Hey, he said he was riding his bike and fell down too.
But the greatest thing about Biden is you can tell.
It's waiting. I can't watch Biden interviews because it's like someone saying, it's like one of those videos on YouTube where, here's a horrible wreck where a person gets killed.
Right.
And you're waiting for it. And as you wait, you get more and more nervous. When you watch Joe Biden talk, it's like, here it comes.
Watch this.
As soon as he's just going to go, oh, shit, sorry.
Now watch this spin on this. This is what I was thinking. I used to think computers are only for gambling and porn.
They are.
And that's all they're for.
All right.
But leading into this, with these DraftKings and all these other things, eventually you're going to be able to bet, is this next play going to be a running play? Is this next play going to be a pass?
You can do that in Europe right now. With
well, I'm
soccer
going to tell you, every Joe Biden fucking press conference, there's one is going to be stroke, heart attack, instantaneous death,
but you won't
or complete delusion.
Yeah, but you won't even be able to get odds in complete delusion. It'll be like 170 to get
a
6
dime or something. But enough time, people would bet on it because I'm watching, like you're saying, when that dude's talking, I'm like, this dude's about to drop dead. If he put it like this, if he dropped dead, would you even be shocked?
Well, here's I wouldn't be shocked because I think
those
doing,
strings would still be
no, because I think he's doing cocaine because he was giving a statement. Not that I've ever done cocaine.
No, never.
But there's times where after a few, your mouth's dry, you're like, he's giving a statement, and it's like, and I'm like, holy shit.
Sometimes I've heard that's called cotton mouth.
That may have, but it's more than that. He could not.
He's got the drip going and cotton mouth.
And his top lip was just straight. And I was like, this motherfucker's, I mean, is he okay?
No, I'll tell you the greatest thing about Joe Biden, what they call him, average Joe or Mr. Everybody. That motherfucker cannot deliver a threat to save his life. And if you ever come after us again, line. And he's sitting there pointing him, and he squeezes his eyes, and you're sitting there like, who the fuck are you scaring?
And then you cut to Bo Biden or whatever his other kid is, where he's all fucking just eyes this big. Just
what about Biden with the crack pipe?
Dude, it was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, I would vote for him because of this dude. This dude was a full-blown crackhead.
Because the thing about it, you got to...
He's such a crackhead, he could sleep on crack.
No.
And he doesn't give enough credit for that.
It's not even that, which is impressive. It's like tweakers who are fat. You just go like, how? The great thing about Bo Biden sleeping with the
It's
crack...
not Bo Biden, it's Bo Biden's dad. That would be a good picture. Yeah. Hunter.
The great thing
Hunter's been a fuck up his whole life.
The great thing about Hunter is you gotta love commitment. When a motherfucker is so committed, baby, I've been up for a few days, I gotta go down. But as soon as I get up, I want my crack pipe. He put it right next to Michael. He put it right next to his head. So the first thing he does when he wakes up, he goes, oh.
Chris Rock does a thing about crackheads staying married forever. It's because they have something in common. It is that dude. I mean, he's a stone cold. He's just a drug addict.
Well, he's a painter now. All of a sudden, his paintings are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's like the physical manifestations of the meandering of a fucking long-term crackhead.
Oh, dude.
You know what we need? We really need that.
It's like, this is really interesting.
It's like everyone's staying at the...
Do you think Hunter Biden is a close talker like his dad when he's all fucking just been smoking for a day and a half?
You know what? Hunter Biden is one of those kids we all grew up with whose dad's always saying what he's going to do. Billy, if you don't...
And the whole time Hunter was like, no.
Hunter's like,
no, I'm not doing that.
I'm 2 minutes away from a big-ass rock.
I was watching this thing.
Grown man.
He was like, dude, when
Michael,
he was like...
This is a grown man.
Dude, when he was like
crack.
15, which is strong. When he was like 15, he got caught with cocaine.
Well,
See, if we got caught with cocaine, my dad would fucking drop you from across the room.
You'd be dead. But literally,
It's old Hunter. He's just got a fucking 8-ball.
But this shows the quality of leadership we had. This motherfucker couldn't beat Donald Trump. Literally, couldn't beat Donald Trump. And
Well, beat him.
I mean, excuse me. He beat Donald Trump, and literally everyone acknowledges he is completely fucking competent.
Yeah, I think so.
He's barely standing up. And this goes back to the fact that, so let me get straight, Mr. Father of the Year, your 15-year-old's a fucking... It's not like it's not fairly obvious when your kid's doing cocaine.
Well, he had like an 8-ball. I mean, he literally got caught on a vacation with an 8-ball. I'm like, how does a 12-year get an 8-ball? I mean, that's strong.
Dad's got to be a senator.
Fuck, I got an 8-ball. But the Biden's a piece. It's just he's painful.
And there's the last.
But he's going to help Brittany Griner.
Right. That's the last topic I want to talk about because it's just the irony of this is just too much. So Brittany Griner, one of the best women's basketball players in the world, don't make enough money to stay here, so they have to go and play.
Can I just point
this
out though? She's not hotter than the Diggins girl from Notre Dame. Have you seen her?
Yeah, but it's digging something else. She got married.
No, forget it.
She's not married
She's
again.
fucking over.
Okay.
Most
Okay.
importantly.
Okay,
All right.
well, I'm glad that's important.
We have
to
to
you.
add these qualifications.
Skylar Diggins is
Yeah.
hot. Okay.
Yeah. Club member.
Well, and the club member reference is always to all of us who happen to be blessed with mixed with a bunch of different ethnic groups, and we kind of like it.
Multicultural. See it on the Fletchcast.
Taking over the world.
That's over. Taking
the
it.
world.
We own it.
We are gonna fuck.
I think Brittany Griner is she a club member?
We
She
are
might
going
be.
to fuck everyone until we are in charge here, and don't
You
you,
think Brittany-
make me chase you down because we'll get you.
What's the line? What's Brittany? She's a club member though. Tall one.
But I don't think she really cares. I think
I
she'd
don't
rather.
care
I
if she
think
does. Well,
she'd
she's
rather
in
get
prison.
home.
What's she gonna do?
She'd rather
Now
get
she
home.
can't do
and,
shit
and
about
now
it.
we're back here, and the problem is that her savior is.
The argument. This we're trying to get on last week to do that. Brittany Griner, her publicists and all her people say Brittany can't get a fair trial in Russia where the conviction rate is 99%.
And
99%.
Everybody applauded and said that is fantastic strategy.
MSNBC, CNN, 99%.
ESPN said
All of them.
she can't possibly get a fair trial there, and this is a charade.
Because it's a 99% conviction
I mean,
rate.
if you got a 99% conviction rate, it's clearly a setup.
Yep.
They don't have it, and Stalin didn't have that good a conviction
They
rate.
don't even have, and in America, we have the due process clause, which means you couldn't possibly have a 99%
Absolutely
conviction
not.
rate.
Not in America, because in America, you get a right to an attorney like Mr. Jones got, right?
Great hair. Great hair.
And Donald Trump's got
Well,
Rudy
put it this
Giuliani.
way. Donald Jones' attorney used to be a
Donald
prosecutor.
Jones.
I mean, whatever this dude's name is, his attorney used to be a prosecutor. So it sums it up.
No, he was a U.S. attorney, which means they never do trials. But
Well, U.S. attorney. Well, since the punchline here is in federal court in the United States of America,
What?
the conviction
what?
rate?
You want some statistics?
Yes, the conviction rate is
According to the
99%.
Pew Institute, and what was interesting about this, me and Michael were laughing because I've done criminal defense for 25 years, and I tell people until they came after me, of course, which they always do. Literally, it's a mockery. It's a joke. And the only people who win is if you get lucky enough to have a really, really, really good lawyer. If not, you're just going to lose. And so their whole theory that, well, Brittany can't get a fair trial in Russia, the argument is, well, if she was here, she would get a fair trial.
Sure.
So
Their
that's it.
argument about her not being able to get a fair trial is predicated
Of
upon a 99% conviction rate.
79,704 total federal defenders in 2018, defendants, excuse me, fewer than 1% went to trial and won their case.
So 99%.
Less than 99%.
99 in federal court in the United States of America. There's state court and then there's federal court. In federal court in the United States of America, if you are charged, you are convicted 99% of the time, higher than in Russia. And by the
We're
way,
number one.
what-
We're number
right,
one.
higher than in Russia. Brittany Griner is more likely to not go to prison in Russia than in the United States of America in our federal court. And by the way, that involves white people.
Right.
That means if you're black or brown, your ass is going to prison. It means it's 100% conviction rate.
So back with this.
I mean, that's fucking stunning.
Pull out that 1% includes black, white, brown, yellow, red people. Well, if you just put the black and brown folks in there, it's
100%. It's 100 fucking percent.
And if you start talking about transgendered or lesbian or gay people, there's not a chance she's getting a fair trial there.
No.
But here's the saddest part about this is we're number one in that, clearly. Now, one thing good old Joe was going to do for us, remember those of us
Hunter must be in that 1%.
he is in that 1%.
Well,
There you go.
well, this proves that there is a guarantee of due process in America because Hunter Biden,
is free.
he beat the charges.
How about this?
Hunter Biden he's
about
that
this?
dumb motherfucker. who
Brittany
I'm
Griner-
gonna
how
I'm
about
going to
this?
videotape me smoking crack.
Brittany-
I'm sure this will
right.
never come back on me.
Brittany Griner is in prison, and Hunter Biden is free.
Not making millions and millions of dollars
But he only videotaped it.
Yep.
But it gets to.
over and over
But
and over.
Joe's going to save him.
Joe's
Joe's going to save him because you know what? He's going to work out this trade, and then that comes down. That means Vladimir Putin will let her go home, and that means Vladimir Putin will have won.
he's freed more brown people than Joe Biden has.
There you go.
I mean, that's done. Here's Joe Rogan said this the other day, and sometimes I'm pissy with Joe, but I like him. He said this the other day, and I'm like, that motherfucker's exactly right. He said and the media's been trashing him
Right.
because he says, "Oh, Joe Rogan is supporting Russia." Joe Rogan said, "There are thousands of people in prison in the United States of America today for marijuana, and no one's saying a fucking
Right.
word." And I'm like, he's exactly right. There are people doing life in prison in the United States of
Right.
America, brown people, but and just for clarity, Joe Biden wasn't elected because of brown people. Because if he was, it'd be outrageous
Right.
that there are people serving life, brown people,
it's not
for
like-
marijuana.
it's not
Joe
like-
Rogan said that's the
It's
craziest
not like
shit ever.
his campaign was done and ruined. It's not like
It
black
got
and-
so bad, he said, "I need a black guy to help me." It's like, all right, here I come.
literally said, "I'm going to South Carolina. Help me, help me."
And the sisters were like, "Let's help this poor motherfucker."
Well, you know, it's the thing
Poor,
about
poor
it
Joe
is that
Biden.
his this goes back to the practical reality of most politicians. They're lying, cheating, pieces of shit, and they've been doing it for decades. Joe Biden's been doing it for so fucking long. He says, "I'm going to free all those people with marijuana convictions," and he's literally forgotten. Or he says, "I never intended to
Yeah,
do
I was
that."
gonna say, I don't think he forgot that. I don't think he ever intended. I mean, he was one of the ones behind the war on drugs,
Right.
the Hillary Clinton,
yeah.
Bill Clinton. He was behind
Super
it.
predator.
At the same time, fucking Hunter.
Right.
Hunter is on like 8-ball number 3
Right.
as he's going
Right.
into junior high of high school. And he says, if you do drugs, you got to do it the whole
Right.
time, unless you're Hunter.
Right.
And which case, but it goes back to, again, when Brittany Griner is more likely to be freed in Russia than she is here, that tells you there is no due process in America. Not for
Except
most people. Not
If
for
you're
most,
Hunter Biden.
except if you're Hunter Biden.
Because when that family was calling every black and brown person,
If Alex Jones goes to prison before Hunter Biden, we should do a poll.
oh, it's gonna happen. I mean, they've
If Alex Jones goes to prison before Hunter Biden, that would be extraordinary.
Would it
That'd
really?
be extraordinary. No, it really wouldn't
You'd
be.
be like, yeah.
Fucking Alex. But Alex Jones, he would lose some weight.
Bro,
there.
but let me put it like this: the whole super predator era, when Hillary and Joe Biden were running down black and brown men, even the author of that article says I was completely fucking wrong.
Of
But
course.
these people rode that shit, and they rode it and rode
Biden's still
thousands and
riding it.
thousands and thousands of black and brown people and poor white people in the prison.
Poor white people don't count, though. They're like, fuck it.
Except to the people that matter to.
no. All right.
And they rode their asses in the prison on this idea that if you smoke crack cocaine, no, if you smoke crack cocaine, you cannot be saved, you cannot be forgiven. You have to go to prison.
Well, but
Except
if it's on videotape. Because
you're Hunter Biden.
they had to put in the Hunter Biden amendment.
that's it
That's
for today,
it.
Mike.
Wait, that's the Hunter Biden amendment. If you are smoking crack,
Right.
you are not breaking the law if you put it on
As
video.
long as you videotape. All right, guys.
That's
Goodbye.
crazy. That's Twins at Law. Here's our poll. It's going to be this: will Hunter Biden go to prison before Alex Jones? What do you think?
I don't think Hunter Biden's going to prison.
Alex Jones is fucked then.
Yeah.
All right. That's Twins at Law. Thank you. It's been great.
Thank you,
Appreciate
folks.
it.